Time to take a look now at what's been making news in South America. 2 weeks after powerful earthquakes struck Venezuela's Caribbean coast, the search continues not just for survivors, but for answers. Families are still waiting for news of missing loved ones, while communities begin the difficult task of rebuilding.
In the coastal town of Carabaleda, rescue crews are still picking through mountains of broken concrete, while families stand just meters away, hoping for news that may never come. 2 weeks after twin earthquakes tore through Venezuela's Caribbean coast, thousands remain unaccounted for, and entire neighborhoods have been reduced to rubble.
I'm waiting because I want to get them out of there dead or alive.
Daniela Alvarez believes members of her family are still trapped beneath what was once their apartment building. Like hundreds of others, she has spent day after day waiting beside the rubble, relying largely on volunteers as the search enters an increasingly difficult phase.
They were on the second floor, one core on, and it hasn't been possible to find them.
Survival experts say the chances of finding people alive diminish sharply with time, but for many here, hope hasn't disappeared. Some survivors have been pulled from collapsed buildings days after previous disasters around the world, giving families reason to believe that miracles, however rare, are still possible.
Hope is the last thing to die. If I could get out, so can anyone.
For those who escaped, survival is only the beginning. Thousands have lost everything and are now living in makeshift camps, waiting to learn whether their homes can be repaired or whether they'll have to start again somewhere else. Aid agencies say access to safe shelter, clean drinking water, and medical care remains a major challenge as recovery begins.
We're waiting for someone to tell us what's going to happen, if they're going to give us a house.
For now, life is measured one day at a time. Some wait for the chance to rebuild, others simply wait for the chance to say goodbye. And until every search has ended, hope remains as much a part of the landscape as the ruins themselves.
A devastating mudslide has swept through a town in southern Ecuador, burying homes, destroying vehicles, and leaving communities searching through the wreckage. Emergency crews are working to clear debris as survivors describe the moment the disaster changed everything.
From above, it's almost impossible to tell where the town ends and where the river begins. A powerful mudslide triggered by the overflow of the Cansama River has devastated the community of Guadalupe in southern Ecuador near the Peruvian border. After days of heavy rain, homes have been swept away, roads buried, and rescue crews continue searching through thick mud and debris. Authorities say people have been killed, others remain missing, and dozens have been injured. On the ground, survivors are still struggling to process what they witnessed.
I looked up and saw a huge mountain looming ahead, and I said, "The world is coming to an end. This is as far as we go."
Families have returned to what's left of their homes, digging with shovels and bare hands, hoping to salvage something from the mud. For Leonardo Ortega, there was little left to save.
Everything vanished. Everything was reduced to nothing.
Others escaped only moments before the torrent arrived, but not everyone made it. Juaman says close friends and neighbors were among those killed.
The floodwaters came just as I was trying to get my mum out. The water was already up to her waist, but we managed to get into the car and drive away.
Now classrooms have become emergency shelters. Children's toys sit beside donated clothes, small reminders of lives suddenly put on hold. Heavy machinery is clearing roads while Ecuador's military and emergency crews continue the difficult task of recovery. For residents here, rebuilding won't begin with bricks or concrete. It begins with finding family, helping neighbors, and believing there's still a future beyond the mud.
Now let's head to North America. Another nationwide blackout has deepened frustration across Cuba, where power cuts have become a daily reality for millions. The latest failure has highlighted the challenges facing an aging energy system already under severe pressure.
When Cuba's national power grid failed once again, the effects were immediate. Traffic lights went dark, electric transport stopped, businesses closed early, and neighborhoods across the island were left without power. It marks the third nationwide blackout in just 6 months, underscoring an energy crisis that has become part of daily life for many Cubans. Authorities blame a combination of aging power plants, chronic fuel shortages, and the impact of long-standing US sanctions, while energy analysts also point to years of underinvestment in the electricity network.
Of course, it's uncomfortable. So imagine thinking your food in the refrigerator could go bad.
For residents, the crisis isn't measured only in hours without electricity. It's worrying about food spoiling in the tropical heat, carrying water when electric pumps stop working, trying to keep phones charged, or finding a way to cool homes during humid summer nights. Across Havana, many households have turned to small solar panels and battery packs.
But you have to adapt. We Cubans adapt. We're used to the good and the bad.
The repeated outages have added to the economic pressures facing Cuba, affecting transport, businesses, hospitals, and food supplies, while many families continue searching for practical ways to cope with an uncertain electricity supply. For now, Cubans continue doing what they've done through every blackout, adapting, finding light where they can, and hoping the next time the lights go out, they won't have to wait so long for them to return.
Let's take a look at what's been making news in Africa this week. A key border crossing in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo is reopening after weeks of restrictions linked to the Ebola outbreak. The move is bringing some relief to communities separated from work, trade and family, but health officials warn the crisis is not over.
Every day, thousands of people cross between Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo and neighboring Rwanda. When Ebola struck in May, that daily rhythm stopped almost overnight. Borders closed, businesses stalled, and families found themselves cut off from work and loved ones. Now, with the Goma crossing partially reopened, life is beginning to move again under strict health checks.
It was too difficult without working. It was difficult for me, both physically and spiritually.
The outbreak has infected more than 1,500 people and claimed more than 500 lives, making it one of the Democratic Republic of Congo's deadliest Ebola outbreaks. Health officials warn the emergency isn't over, with screening, treatment and contact tracing still continuing across affected communities.
We went through this period of closure in great distress, like no activity was running.
For many, the greatest impact wasn't only the virus itself, but losing the ability to earn a living. Thousands of traders, transport workers and families who depend on daily cross-border travel suddenly found themselves without an income. Only God spared us from death. Seeing customs reopen today gives us hope. The road to recovery will take time. Medical checks remain in place and health workers continue working to contain the virus. But for the people crossing this border once again, every step forward is more than a journey between two countries. It's a small but powerful sign that after months of fear, life can begin to move again.
A former homeless man has become an unlikely internet sensation through his mission to rescue injured birds. Known online as the Nairobi Birdman, he says his work is about giving vulnerable animals a second chance.
Rogers Olu Magutha, better known as the Nairobi Birdman, has built a large social media following through his unusual passion for rescuing injured birds. The former homeless man is often seen surrounded by pigeons, ibises, storks, and other bird species on the streets of Nairobi. While city authorities have questioned the health risks of eating and spending long periods with wild birds, Magutha insists his focus is on caring for injured animals until they recover.
Nairobi Birdman, I am an urban birds enthusiast. I rescue birds. So you can see me with a lot of birds. Yeah, that's what I do. I love rescuing birds and even staying with them.
Magutha says his work is based on rehabilitation rather than keeping birds permanently. He explains that once the birds regain their strength and can survive on their own, they are released back into their natural environment. Despite criticism over his close contact with the birds, He says years of living alongside them have only strengthened his commitment to wildlife rescue.
So for me, mine is a rescue mission. I've been with the different species of birds, from the marabou stork, cattle egret, hadada ibis, African sacred ibis, barn owl, the pigeon, the black kites. But if you can see, I have now few birds. That show you that when I rescue the birds and they are willing to go, or imefika ile place, they are healthy and they need to rely on themselves, I usually release the birds.
From life on the streets to becoming one of Kenya's most recognizable wildlife rescuers, the Nairobi Birdman says his goal remains simple: help injured birds recover and give them a second chance in the wild.
And that's all for this edition of Global Pulse. I'm Angela Murphy. Thanks for joining me on this global journey. Now be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, Asia One News, where you can catch up on anything you may have missed right here. I look forward to your company next time we meet with more stories that matter from every corner of the world. But as always, until then, stay informed and stay connected.